A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we embark on a journey of knowledge, innovation, and collaboration. As we gather to explore the diverse realm, let us remember that together we can forge new horizons and create a brighter future for our industries and beyond. With this thought, I, Ankit, along with my co-compete Diksha, on the behalf of the entire IMI New Delhi fraternity, would like to extend a warm welcome to all our distinguished guests, Ms. Lakshmi Iyer, Director General Himadri Das Sir, Dean Academics Sonu Goyal Ma'am, members of the faculty, and my fellow future managers. We are delighted to take you through the inaugural session of Conventus 2023, the 12th annual management conclave of IMI New Delhi. The theme for the Conventus 23 is Embracing the Winds of Change, Strategies for Thriving in Disruptive Times.
Good morning to one and all. In a world of constant evolution, change is not a choice, but a compelling force that distinguishes those who thrive from those who merely exist. This year's Conventus theme highlights the critical importance of adaptation and innovation for businesses in today's ever-changing landscape. It draws inspiration from the examples of Nokia and Kodak, which failed to evolve and were overtaken by much more agile competitors, as well as Zerodha and PhysicsWallah, which transformed their industries through innovative pricing and technology integration. Our acronym highlights the key attributes businesses must attain to navigate the disruptive landscape. Rapid adaptation underscores the imperative of swift adjustments to align the changing circumstances. Unpredictable challenges demand agility in tackling unforeseen obstacles, enabling organizations to effectively navigate the unexpected. Lastly, profound transformation and technological innovation stress upon the value of wholeheartedly embracing change while acknowledging it as a catalyst for growth. The overarching message is that businesses need to excel in RUPT, rapid adaptation, unpredictable challenges, profound transformation, and technological innovation to not only navigate disruptive landscapes, but also flourish in this era characterized by perpetual change. Before proceeding, we'd like to present to you an audio-visual describing Conventus 2023.
Humanity has witnessed the eye-opening revelation that the world can alter its course in an instant. The pages of history bear witness to this truth. World wars, pandemics, economic collapses are unpredictable shifts that echo through time. Like a ripple effect, the consequences of these events rapidly reshape the present, leaving the future shrouded in uncertainty. Such circumstances, being extremely overwhelming in nature, demand constant transformation for achieving triumph among competitors. RUPT, signifying rapid, unpredictable, profound, and transformative, perfectly explains the functioning of such a world where constant change is the norm. If businesses do not navigate the unpredictable winds of the market, much like the fate of Ozymandias, every symbol of triumph shall perish under the test of time, weathering away eventually. How do we cope with such a profound challenge?
In an effort to tread these waters and embrace the winds of change, IMI New Delhi presents Conventus 2023, a confluence of intellectuals who with their thought-provoking ideas will ignite the minds of young individuals. We come together in this extraordinary gathering of adept personalities and welcome you to the future of business excellence.
We kindly request our respected Director General Dr. Himadri Das.
Humanity has witnessed the eye-opening.
We kindly request our respected Director General Dr. Himadri Das Sir to present our Chief Guest Ms. Lakshmi Iyer with a bouquet as a gesture of our appreciation and gratitude. Sir, if you could.
To grace this auspicious occasion, it is an honor for us to invite our distinguished guest, Ms. Lakshmi Iyer, to kindle the ceremonial lamp and illuminate our event with its divine radiance. I humbly request our respected Director General, Sir, Dean Academic Sonu Ma'am, Dr. D.K. Batra, and Vaibhav Puri to join us in this significant moment.
It is our privilege to introduce Director General Dr. Himadri Das sir. Dr. Himadri Das is the Director General of IMI since October 2018. Prior to that, he spent 6 years in business school in the director's role at Great Lakes Institute of Management Gurgaon and MDI Gurgaon. He worked in the technology industry in the US and India for 13 years before moving into academics in 2002. He has a BTech and MBA from IIT Delhi and an MS and PhD from University of Virginia, USA. We would request Dr. Himadri Das sir to kindly address the gathering.
Thank you. A very good morning to everybody, and a special warm welcome to our chief guest, Ms. Lakshmi Iyer, CEO, Investment and Strategy, Kotak Alternate Asset Managers. And I particularly want to thank her because she's come on a very, very busy day. I woke up to this news. I don't know how many of you saw it, that JP Morgan has added India in the emerging markets debt index effective June 2024, which is a big thing. And I think there are 23 countries. I just learned from Ms. Iyer while I was sitting outside. And we have a 10% weightage, and that's the highest. There are a few other countries with 10%. And so she was giving an interview downstairs to CNBC. And in the middle of all this, she has kept her commitment. So I want to express my special thanks for that. Professor Sonu Goyal, our Dean Academics, Professor D.K. Batra, my other colleagues who I see at the back here, some of them, my dear students. This is the 12th edition of Conventus'. It all started in 2012 when a group of enthusiastic students decided that they would do what is now commonly called aggregation in a business model context, or in the old English cliche, the whole is more than the sum of the parts. And they thought it would be good to aggregate a lot of disparate, spread out conclaves into one big 3-day event. So prior to that, we used to have maybe a half-day marketing conclave or a 1-day marketing conclave sometime in the year. Then a finance, completely different time, then operations, then HR, then whatever, entrepreneurship. And they would happen spread out over 2 academic terms. So the plan was, instead of spreading all of them out and losing impact, let's just have 3 dedicated days when there are no classes, which is in the calendar. And we have this mega corporate engagement of bringing in senior industry people from morning till evening over these 3 days to talk about current and relevant issues in the business space that would be good for our students to get exposed to. So that was the genesis of the birth of Conventus, and as at least all the students know, it's a very packed schedule starting from today till Sunday evening, and we'll have a galaxy of senior industry practitioners, and kicked off by Ms. Lakshmi Iyer, which is a good way to start it off. So my ask of the students is that soak everything in, make the most of it. These are inputs you will not be able to get in the classroom, because these are industry people telling you what is happening today and what is going to happen tomorrow and day after. This is not something you will find in any textbook, or because we as faculty don't have that, we are not privy to knowing what is happening, especially in the future in industry, other than us talking to people who come here. So this would be you getting these inputs from the horse's mouth. So ask questions, be inquisitive. Curiosity is a good thing. The more questions you ask, the more you will learn. So my suggestion is, don't just sit there passively and just listen and soak things in. Ask questions, and ask a lot of questions. In every session there is a Q&A session, and I would like you to make the most of the Q&A session to understand whatever you are keen to understand. There might be certain interests some of you have, and you'll have speakers here who will know more about those areas of interest than anybody else. So make the most of that. Follow them outside, catch them during tea, coffee break. And your job is to extract knowledge, and that's why you're here. And everybody's job who's come here and who will be coming here the rest of the 3 days is to give you as much knowledge as they can, but you got to extract it. So I will stop with that. And again, a very warm welcome, and thank you very much for coming.
Your kind words are deeply appreciated, sir. They serve as a constant source of motivation, propelling us towards a journey of continuous growth and a pursuit of excellence. Now, we would like to take this opportunity to introduce our honorable chief guest, Ms. Lakshmi Iyer. Ms. Lakshmi Iyer is the CEO, Investment and Strategy at Kotak Alternate Asset Managers Limited. She has been with the Kotak Group for over 22 years. As a part of the organization, she is responsible for investment advisory, product solutions spanning across fixed income, equities, real estate, and alternate strategies. Previously, she has been responsible for credit research, deal execution, managing fund performance across all debt funds, and assisting sales and client interaction. In addition to that, she has been a portfolio specialist and has managed various product-related initiatives such as product pricing and coordination with the funds management and sales team in that particular role. Lakshmi ma'am holds an MBA degree in finance from Narsi Monji Institute of Management Studies, and she has been recognized as one of the top 25 most influential women in asset management in Asia by a leading publication in the investment industry. May I kindly request our chief guest, Ms. Iyer, to grace the podium and deliver her address.
Hi, good morning everyone. Audible? You all had your breakfast? Doesn't sound like, okay. Thank you very much for having me here. It is, I love being with students because when people introduce me or when I'm meeting somebody, they say, she's our resident expert. She has a domain expertise. I always tell back, I retort immediately saying that I'm still a student. And every day there is so much new happening, and therefore change is the only constant. So, your theme is so very, very appropriate because, we just concluded our, at the Kotak Group level, we concluded our leadership meet a month back, and the theme of that also was accelerating change. So change we all know, but how do you accelerate change, I think is very, very important. as Professor Das also very rightly mentioned, that I woke up to this news. I'm up since 5 in the morning. I had a late night dinner event, and I thought यहाँ पे तो 8:45 पहुँचना है. So I will obviously I saw I had to go from CP, which is Delhi to Gurgaon, finish off that meeting, and then I said 8:45, very comfortable, tops 8:50, so it should be okay. And as luck would have it, there were other plans, and I woke up to this news from 5 in the morning that JP Morgan is introducing India bonds as part of their index. And I've been constantly, on the phone. I called up Ankit. I told him I'm reaching in early because media guys don't like to take phoners. They like to, see you in person. And so what I'm trying to explain through this very small incident is that you have to keep your mental faculty so very agile and never say never. I think that's very, very important. And for those who know me in close circles, whether professionally or personally, know that I talk a lot, or I discuss markets or everything a lot in stories. So I want to share one story with you, and I think most of you or all of you would know this, but I'm just refreshing this in very quick couple of minutes. The story of the horse cart and the automobile, which is, when a horse cart was the only medium of transportation. I'm talking about back in 1900s. Every analyst was actually preparing, a simulation as to how many floors of manure you need to, food you need to, because horse requires food. How are you going to protect? How are you going to create? So multiple stories, and this is going to be the thing. If you add these many horses, you're going to have this kind of thing, and the entire space is going to be a constraint. And there comes the automobile. That is change for you. And I'm talking about 1900s. Flip it back now to in the same horse and the automobile story. In fact, I don't know if I have that article handy here. I just want to read out the headline of that article. Let me just see. I was in Singapore last week. The headline says, why the traditional automotive industry is running out of road. This is the headline, which I read 5 days back. And I'm not reading the article for you, but it goes on to say, for the first time, I think this is relevant to each of you who is going to graduate maybe in the next 2 or 3 years from here. For the first time in the 88-year history, the United Auto Workers is bringing out the combined forces of Ford, GM and Stellantis on strike. Dharna bol do. Okay, in pursuit of wage demands. Now, what is going on? Can anybody guess in plain, simple English, what is this going on? It's disruption. It's absolute, there is no other word to it apart from the word disruption. And who is causing that disruption? Come on, guys and girls, breakfast. I want to hear you loud. Any guesses? It's Tesla. So Tesla is causing the disruption. So the automobile which caused the disruption to the horse cart back in the 1900s, it's Tesla who's causing that disruption in the automobile space. Now one might laugh it off, one might brush it off. You will say, Delhi mein kya chalega, EV, ya Bombay mein kya? We can all, keep talking about it. How many of you in this room, please raise your hands, had your first phone as a Nokia? Kya baat hai, so many of you. Very nice, yeah. I'm very, very impressed. When I do this session with the Gen Z, 2 haath uthenge, 3 haath uthenge. But when people like us are in the audience, I here also I didn't see too many, hands were raised, but it was not 100%. It would be 50, 60, 70%. But if people like us are in the audience, it'll be 11 on 10 who would raise hands, who will say that our first phone was a Nokia. And then, did any one of you use a BlackBerry? So first phone of mine was a Nokia. Second phone of mine was the BlackBerry. I used to love BlackBerry, okay? Absolutely love. And there's something known as BBM, BlackBerry Messenger, which for today for you might be IG chat or Snapchat or whatever. But for us, it was BlackBerry Messenger. Absolutely phenomenal. UI, UX, design, sab kuch 11 on 10. You know what is the biggest mistake RIM did? The company that makes BlackBerry? They said that we are too big to fail, or they thought that they're too big to fail, so we will not integrate with an open architecture. And that was advantage WhatsApp. So BlackBerry Messenger was the very, very strong reason where people like us actually stuck on to BlackBerry, even though it was the QWERTY key. We said, "Chalo, theek hai, kar lenge, it's not a problem." So clearly, I gave you two examples, and then third example in today's day, where constantly, if you are not innovating, constantly, if you are not self-disrupting, you are here, you are not going to be here tomorrow. Very, very evident. Let me flip this to the financial services industry. So, whenever we have this review, our business review with our chairman, Mr. Kotak, he used to tell us that, in one such review, Bato Bato mein, he said, "You know what, Lakshmi, technology is like God. If you believe in God and there is God, तो फिर कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. But if you don't believe in God and there is God, फिर तो बैंड बाजा बारात है. Like literally it's a band baja barat." So I think that is what we are witnessing today, even in the financial services space. How many of you still visit a bank branch? Can you raise your hands? 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 20. Okay. Pandemic happened in 2020. Till then, I would say more number of people would have raised your hands to visit a bank branch. Today, this is your bank branch. This handheld device in your hand. This allows you to transfer money, get your remittances, do your credit card blocking, increase the limit. You can think of any banking, make your investments. You can think of do your transactions, satta karo, investment karo, jo bhi karna hai. This is your bank, this is your broker, this is your investment app, whatever it's called. And that is the reason it is becoming incrementally very, very important. How many of you carry a camera with you when you are going for your vacation or your hikes or treks or whatever? Raise of hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 20 again. Far too few in number. It will not be more than 50%. I'm very sure about it, because this has become your camera. Was this the case 10 years back? Answer is no ways. I remember we used to, of course, we grew through the VCR and VCP days, video cassette recorder, video cassette players. I'm sure none of you can even recognize. You all will think it's a dinosaur or it's an alien which has descended. But, we actually used to move in. But again, movies, effortless. I fly Indigo, but I constantly make sure, because Indigo has got the best connectivity, I ensure that this is, just plug in your AirPods and then start watching movies, download whatever you want ab initio. If you're in Vistara, you don't even need to download, because you get, streaming live. See, I'm telling you all of these examples because every time you are going to question certain things and every time you're going to say no, you have to keep asking yourself, whether you are marketing professionals, whether you are financial professionals, where is going to be when is going to be the next zero-da moment, for example, for the financial services sector or for the marketing sector, because everything is changing. And how? Even before you change your clothes, the weather has already changed. So if you are going to say that for winter, I'm going to plan in winter, you're too late. Extremely late. And it is more and more relevant and important, with students like you who are going to be the torch bearers of tomorrow. Constantly evaluating. When COVID happened, see, I'm a big Bollywood movie fan, okay? I always used to jovially say that PVR stock is sustained only because of me. Even in COVID, it didn't really fall too much. That's because I try to watch rather every movie first day last show, because if I say first day first show, you will wonder, do I really work? But first day last show is when I try to catch every movie, good, bad, ugly, doesn't matter to me. It can be half star, 1 star, minus star. What happened when COVID struck? Obviously, there was a lockdown. There were no movie productions. Did the film industry, kind of get into the groove and say, it's the end of the world for us? Did the, the artists or the people who play in the movie, the star actors, did they say, it's the end of the world for us? No. Almost every star that you can think of, whoever your favorite is, he or she has been part of OTT at different points in time, irrespective of which OTT you're talking about. And they've been raging hits. And even now as we speak, while the movies have made a big comeback, inflation also has made a big comeback. So for those who are price conscious and value conscious have decided that, look, I'm not going to go to a multiplex to watch the movie. You anyways in the first the credits you see, oh, the streaming partner is XYZ, ABC is Netflix, Prime, Z, whoever. So we are going to wait and watch. It's absolutely fine with us. Isn't this another example of change? Isn't this another example of adaptability, flexibility? I'm sharing with you each of these examples, and I asked ChatGPT to write a speech on change. And it gave me a very boring yarn on ChatGPT, artificial intelligence. So it gave me all things which were so superficially quoted. And then I said, you know what, I can't use any of that. And that was more like fun exercise I did. But the fact of the matter is, today, if you want to go to any country, any city, you just have to go to the iRoam app and say 2 nights, 3 days, so and so. Lo and behold, it gives you a broad skeleton or, what you need to do, and you can fill in your life. Was this possible 3 years back? Was it possible 10 years back? Answer is no. So I'm clearly of the view that, and as we, progress further, as we go forward, everything, you can think of anything and everything that you use, your gadgets, your, something that could be part of the FMCG sector, something which is part of the financial services, the auto, I touched upon that, the pharma industry. When did you ever, in the most wildest dream, assume or guess that your doctor or your GP, specifics of course is different, but your GP would be available for an online consultation? I could not think through, honestly. When COVID struck, and our job is markets related, our job is, more of market facing, I said, how can you manage money sitting at home? Was my question. So, before 2020, when I used to go to the US, I had friends, colleagues who used to work from home saying, this is my work from home day. And my immediate retort was, do you really work at home? That was my question. And when COVID struck, and when you realize that, oh, this is clearly possible, and you could manage things way, way more efficiently, you actually saw a very, very different paradigm shift. And then, of course, you saw Zoom prices rally, you saw all of that. That's a separate byproduct. But the fact of the matter is, it has accelerated change. A change which would have probably come in, say, 2030, 2035, or maybe 2027, 28, I do not know. That change got accelerated to 2020. If you were not digital savvy, you had no choice. You had to get digitally savvy. If my maid didn't have a bank account, she had no choice. I refused to withdraw cash from the ATM. Even now, I don't recall when was the last time I actually withdrew cash from the ATM. In Mumbai, I stay in BKC. I go to walk in Carter Road, Bandra, because I like the sea view to walk. It's much more pleasant. And after the walk, me and my friend, we both have Nariyal Pani, $60. GPay. 5 years back, GPay, it would have been a struggle to explain to a vendor who's selling coconut water what is GPay or what is Paytm or whatever. And yesterday, after your colleagues, they dropped me to Aerocity. I had a meeting. Again, it changed that's a different experience. I got into an Uber because I had to go back to Oberoi, and some told it was already auto paid because it was a credit card thing. And that guy tells me that you have to pay me $30 more. And I'm completely zapped because I don't have money. I don't carry cash at all. Chillar kuch pada rehta hai purse mein, but that's about it. I didn't have $30. And I said, aapke paas... He said, हाँ, madam, UPI hai. Before I could complete, he said, madam, UPI, and I said, my battery was on 7%. And he said, aap UPI kar do mujhe. Imagine, I'm giving you multiple strata. I gave you Zerodha, I gave you Tesla, I gave you Nokia example. But here are the people who probably are not as privileged as you and me, are still taken up to the technology bandwagon because they know that if they do not adapt to this change, their business is going to go southward, without a doubt. Eventually, what will happen is, if there are two Nariyal Pani Walas, the guy or the person who takes a UPI or a GPay intuitively will get more business. How many people who go on a walk even carry a mobile phone? You can say not necessary, but most of them at least carry because they know emergency and all of that. But how many people really carry cash? Not necessarily everyone. Because for everything, as I said, the world is changing and how, and every time you question it, I would say do analysis paralysis. You don't need to be a doctor to do postmortem. But postmortem is done post facto. What I urge each one of you sitting in this room is to, because you are going to be the torch bearers, 3 years from today, there could be so many jobs that you are vying for but may not exist. There could be so many role models that you're emulated, but their jobs could be redundant. It is so important. Last week, I had somebody, we were discussing about social media, about Twitter, LinkedIn, and stuff like that. And you know what he asked me? And I'm sure all of you will have a hearty laugh, at least mani man mein hosoge. Do you know what Instagram Reel is? He asked me. The reaction. You people in this room will say, really? Somebody is asking you this question? It is so basic. No, it's not basic. I was in Singapore and I went for my conference. I was speaking at one of the Citibank conference. Then I had my roadshows a few days. And I extended 2 days because I was told by my friend that there is F1 happening. I had never been to an F1. TV mein dekhti hu. I didn't want to go. But she said, let's go for this F1. It's a good experience. And after that, Post Malone was performing. How many of you don't know Post Malone? सबको पता है. एक को नहीं पता. चलो ठीक है. Minority 2 को. चलो 10 को. You know, you will not believe it. The two of us, me and my friend, were the only two. I knew obviously who Post Malone was because I have a teenager boy. So that's how I have to be abreast of whatever he's doing. We were the only 2 people who were 40 plus. And I'm not kidding. Okay? I am not kidding. Anybody and everybody in that room would have been a 20 minus. In that room, it was an open this. The point I'm trying to make is that there is this gentleman who's asking me what is Instagram Reels. He need not be on Instagram. It doesn't matter. I also got into Insta 5 years back or 4 years back to stalk my son. And now, of course, I've become a little bit more, active. But Twitter and LinkedIn, of course, is a non-negotiable for us as professional circuit. Insta is more for fun. And when I told this Insta, oh, you mean IG? I said, so Insta also now has a short name called IG. But the point I'm trying to say is that whatever we are going to use, can Insta have a challenger? Who knows? It's quite possible. It could be something else tomorrow. If you go to China, there is no Insta. If you go to China, there is no WhatsApp. Is there a Snapchat? Well, it's questionable. Is there a TikTok? Most likely yes. But in India, there is no TikTok. So what I'm trying to say is that you have to be abreast of everything which is happening around you. And if you do not, I always tell this to people, if you rest, you rust. And can you afford to rust? The key question, each one of you as torch bearers, and I don't want to keep going on with Gyan, so I will pause here, but the point I want to make is that there could be dime a dozen examples, and I wanted to give you certain hard-hitting examples just to show it to you that it is possible. Can you imagine today if I want to take a photocopy of my passport, even a scanner, that scanner also is on this. So this is going to be the, you call it in derivatives as they call it, it could be the weapon of mass, destruction. I call this a weapon of mass disruption. Extremely, extremely important. And who knows, tomorrow there could be a disruptor to this. Earlier I used to wear a Fitbit. Okay, that Fitbit, not necessarily, it just showed you the health metrics. Today this has everything. I have a weighing machine app on this. I'm sure it's not new to you, but all this is last 2 to 3 years, which tells you every metrics, including your VO2, VO2 max. Of course, I know iPhone also gives it, but it also tells you after you punch in the quantity of water, whether you had it and is it sufficient given your BMI. And this digital weighing scale is just outstanding. It just integrates so seamlessly. Did I have it 2 years back? The answer is no. Everything was Android and, or analog, and analog is moving itself into digital. Jadoo, the flowers were real, but by the way, so certain things cannot change. I met, and then this is my last 2 minutes. I met a gentleman whose card says futurist. His designation was futurist. And we were sitting across the table sipping a cup of coffee in my building in Mumbai on the 9th floor. And I said, how do you define your role? So, and this was 5 years back. And you know what he told me? that Lakshmi, when I see out, he asked me, what do you see out of this window? I said, I can see grass, I can see the greenery, I can see the trees, I can see some birds. Yeah, that's about it. And of course, I can see the sky. You know what he told me? I see a drone actually moving people from one area to the other. He told this to me 5 years back, okay, in 20, maybe 18, I met him 5 or 6 years back. And today, you actually have those drones, at least it could be in trial mode, but you actually have these drones which are attempting something like this. Gone are those days where you saw those drones in Three Idiots, that kind of drone. Of course, that company went public. But the drone technology has moved to the next level, and much more of companies are actually investing in research to actually see how drones can make their life peaceful. If you go to universities also, you have these robots which are, the Amazon packets come, they actually lift the Amazon packets and they actually place it. This is technology for you. So please, please, please keep this in mind. There is Munnabai and Circuit, where Munnabai always used to believe that jadoo ki jappi se aapka life ka problem sort out ho sakta hai. In today's world where we are, in the 21st century, I would say that jadoo ki jappi is clearly for you to embrace or have a jappi with technology. Because if you are not going to embrace technology, then forget all the jadoo and definitely forget the jappi. Thank you so much.
Thank you for such an enlightening speech that has broadened our horizon and sparked new ideas within us. Now, I would request the President of the Student Council, Vaibhav Puri, to kindly brief us of what lies ahead in the next 3 days of Conventus 23.
Good morning, distinguished guests, respected faculty, and my dear friends. Welcome to Conventus 23, the annual management conclave of IMI New Delhi. The pulse in the air is electric, filled with the excitement of what promises to be an illuminating and transformative journey over the next 3 days. Today we stand at an unprecedented crossroads. The very foundation of the business landscape are shifting beneath us. Call it disruption, call it revolution, or call it transformation. The labels may differ, but the impact remains profound. The theme of this year's Conventus reflects this shifting paradigm. Embracing the winds of change, strategies for thriving in disruptive times. For the leaders of yesterday, today and tomorrow, the choice is clear. We must either adapt, innovate and prosper, or risk becoming the next Nokia or Kodak. To highlight this, our discourse is centered around the acronym RUPT: Rapid Adaptation, Unpredictable Challenges, Profound Transformation, and Technological Innovation. Over the next 3 days, we will have 11 summits, each a deep dive into the domains like finance, marketing, operations, HR, and many more, exploring their complexities through the lens of our overarching theme. Each session aims to equip you with the insights and tools to navigate in this era of unrelenting change. I would also like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the immense contribution of each one of our distinguished panelists that will be coming today, who will share their wealth of experience and knowledge with us. Their perspectives are not just academic theorizations, but battle-tested strategies. Listen keenly, question freely, and let's co-create our playbook for thriving in these turbulent times. Each year, Conventus sets the benchmark higher for its legacy, raising the bar both in terms of quality of summits and the delivery of excellence. We hope this year will be no stranger to our expectations, and that we will not only maintain but also augment its legacy. None of this would be possible without the tireless efforts of our faculties and our students. Your commitment to excellence is the wind beneath Conventus' wing, making it soar higher each year. So, on the behalf of Student Council, I, Vaibhav Puri, extend a hearty and warm welcome to each and every one of you to Conventus 23. May these 3 days be enlightening and enriching experience for all of us. Thank you, and let's embrace the winds of change together.
Thank you, Vaibhav. Now, we kindly request the esteemed Dean Academic Sonu Goyal ma'am to deliver a heartfelt note of gratitude expressing our sincere appreciation for the enlightening session and the valuable insights shared by our distinguished guest. Ma'am.
This one? Yeah. Thank you all. A very good morning to everyone, and a hearty welcome to all our students and Professor Himadri Das, Lakshmi. It was a wonderful, insightful, delivery of whatever you said. Very exciting. Very good morning, Professor Batra, Rajenji, Chavi, Monica, and other colleagues here, and the student council members. It's my honor to give this vote of thanks at the end of this inaugural session. As usual, as I've seen it in the last so many years, Conventus, as rightly said, has been getting better and better every year. It's a culmination of lots of knowledge that students have been gathering here over the years, and therefore this becomes even more encouraging for us to come and sit here for all the summits which have been. We look forward to these 3 days of summits. This year we have 11 summits, and I think it's phenomenal to have so many industry speakers coming and imparting their knowledge to everyone here. And as Himadri just said, that I think this is a great opportunity for all of us to ask more, learn more, interact more, and which is what I think this whole summit is for. And I am absolutely in alignment with what Lakshmi said here. The pace of change is so high. It's absolutely sometimes unnerving, because we really don't know what's going to happen next. And we are seeing this change happen in our lifetime, right? At least those of us who have have so many years behind us, we've seen a lot more change than some of you, and even Lakshmi here, because she's so much younger. And all the examples that she was giving, actually I could relate, because we've seen all that happening in our lifetime, right? So it's phenomenal. The change is phenomenal, and I think the only way to stay abreast with all this change is where we are mentally agile, right? I think this role of being a futurist, the designation of futurist, I think we have to wear the hat all the time of being a futurist. Because unless we are thinking ahead and we are thinking ourselves as to what could be the next best thing that could happen, which could probably take care of some of our pain points, or what could be the next best thing to resolve a solution or give a better solution to problems that we face. I think that's probably the start of the thinking itself, that's probably going to be the next best thing that's going to happen. And it's all which are dreams which have come true, frankly speaking, because somebody dreamt that this could happen, and there it happened. So all the stories that we tell in our classrooms of change that has come about is where somebody thought of it, and it has. And as you guys, as the torch bearers, are who have to think, sometimes I do say it in my class also, that all the frameworks that we are talking about probably are going to get archaic very soon, because the next thing is going to be what you're going to write as history. So you better start thinking out of box. You start thinking about what is going to be the next best thing. And that's probably what's going to be taught 20 years from now. So I think change is what we need to be abreast with. And a very apt theme, I must say, Rupt, which is basically it's going to disrupt everything. So we are seeing disruptions every day, and that's probably what we should be tuned to, going forward. So, and I'm assuming that not just me, but all my faculty members and this entire platform of learning that we provide at IMI is, tuning you to, create change, in fact, right? So thank you so much, all my colleagues here and everybody who's worked towards this, the student council and all the student bodies who have worked very hard. And it's all of you who, this whole 3 days is driven by you, for you, and therefore all the best, and hope you gain maximum out of this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your motivational words. Now I request Priyanka Mishra, General Secretary, Student Affairs, Student Council, to express our sincere appreciation to the students for their invaluable efforts in kickstarting Conventus.
Distinguished guest, member of faculty, and my fellow future manager, a very good morning to all of you. As previously mentioned, this year Conventus is themed around embracing the winds of change, strategies for thriving in disruptive time. I strongly believe that the 11th Summit, these three grand events, will lead to an extensive knowledge share, a perspective, something we students at IMI look forward to. The inauguration has set the tone with the august presence of our chief guest, Ms. Lakshmi Iyer, delivering words of wisdom. I, Priyanka Mishra, a member of Student Council, on behalf of entire student fraternity, would like to take this opportunity to thank and gratitude to our members and leaders who serve as an inspiration for us to embark the journey of becoming a global leaders. Thank you, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, with this we conclude the inaugural session of Conventus 2023. We trust that the session has been truly enlightening for each one of us present here. We extend our heartfelt gratitude for your presence and thank you until we meet again.
We are honored to announce our esteemed partners and sponsors for Conventus 23 at IMI New Delhi. Their support and collaboration has been instrumental in making this event a resounding success. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to Phoenix Global, Recode Studios, RPSG, Fresca, Power Grid Corporation of India, The Hindu, Easy Diner, Orient Electric, Business Standard, Belgium Waffles, The Tarzan Way, Segal Doors, Safe Express, Bank of India, ICICI Bank, Adda 52, and Mad Over Donuts. I, Ankit, and my co-compare Diksha, on the behalf of the student fraternity of IMI New Delhi, would like to take this opportunity to commend all the guests, speakers, professors, students, and the staff of IMI New Delhi for helping us this endeavor and unparalleled success. Thank you so much. We would now like to request our guests to proceed to lobby area. I would request the students to stay back in the audience for a moment. मैं इशारा करता हूँ